Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Duke Silver and we have a brand new patch that I'm going to be going over briefly with you here. Yeah, stick around if you're here. If you're here for gameplay, this will only take a short minute. It's a very small patch, and we'll just get into some gameplay right after this. But yeah, okay. So let's just jump into it. Patch 73.2. So we got two new heroes. The first one is Goldilocks. Starts with 40 health, and when you level up, you get plus 2 gold, and your next shop is all characters of your level. This is a very interesting, I would say, tempo hero. I've only played one game with Goldilocks so far, but she seems to be pretty solid. I definitely like an econ hero. Like I would compare her to like a Pan's Shadow or maybe Zelhua. Probably not quite approaching as good as Zelhua, but I still think she's very solid. Being able to just buy a bunch of, especially on level 3, getting that 2 extra gold does matter quite a bit. So yeah, she's gonna be one to keep an eye on for sure. I'm very interested to play some more games with her. But yeah, moving on. So now we have the second hero here, which is Puffy, which is the long-awaited Puff Puff hero. And the hero power is simply you start with a 1/1 baby Puff Puff that has the typical Puff Puff ability, Last Breath, give all your Puff Puffs everywhere, +1/+1 permanently. And yeah, I played a game with Puffy as well. It did not feel incredibly good. I never found any Puff Puffs at level 4, so I'm not sure on that experience quite yet. But having an extra character on the first couple turns does matter, but I think it falls off very, very quickly. So I think Puffy's a little bit on the weaker side as it is right now. So I think the key to playing Puffy is going to be getting some higher power Puff Puffs on level 4. Like, you want to find the Puff Puffs, and then you want to just use that tempo boost. Like, you don't want to go full Puff Puffs unless you really want to, of course. But I think the winning strategy for Puffy here is going to be you find Puff Puffs, just 1 or 2 on level 4 that are higher statted, and then you cast experience spells and try and get ahead of the lobby that way. At least that's my read on it so far. I haven't really, like I said, I've only played one game with it so far. I haven't won a game with Goldilocks or Puffy yet, so hopefully I'll be able to get one of those out to you soon. But for now I don't have a game ready for you. But yeah, again, I'm working on that. Okay. Anyways, the rest of the patch is just some balance changes. So for Sporko and Lady of the Lake, 2 of like the best characters in the game, for their relative to their level anyways, have been nerfed. So their base stats are both down to 2/2, and both of their support bonus stats have been nerfed by 1. So this is a pretty interesting change. It's kind of an indirect nerf to P, I think. And also they're just like really, really efficient. It's kind of wild that as far as stats go, they're not even that much of an upgrade over the alignment based supports like Good Witch and Wicked Witch on level 3 now. So like they're giving less overall stats, like 5 from the alignment based ones compared to 4 for this one. So just adding ranged to the character is what kind of sends it over the top. And they're still good. Like don't worry, they're not like unplayable or anything. You might have to think a little bit harder about buying them, but I still found that they've been really solid pickups. I'm more likely to just jam stats on them now, I think. Like before, I thought like a Gingerbread Party, you'd be fine and just get it to a 4/4. But now I think you actually want to be putting stats on it to make it a real character. But yeah, like it's not enough of a nerf that it makes P bad or anything. I think P is still a very solid endgame comp that you can do with this. All right, there's one more change. Also, they switched Evil Eye and Horn of Olympus. So Evil Eye is now on 4, and Horn of Olympus is now on 5, which, again, another indirect nerf to Princess P, or Empress P, sorry. And I think this change is interesting. We're gonna have to see how it plays out. You get a lot of stats with Evil Eye on 4, so that could be something to watch out for. But the fact that we're gonna see less Horns of Olympus is, I think, a net positive. evil eye change is I'm not entirely sure about that yet, but yeah. But yeah, you're still kind of getting the same like for like sleigh builds, you're getting the same treasures from the same places still. Well, not the same treasures, but like you're still trying to find horn plus eye, and it's just now you're gonna try and get horn out of Lancelot, and then eyes out of Riverwish Mermaids now instead. So, but yeah, I think Evil Eye on 4 makes the Sporkos and Lady of the Lake still very, very good. Yeah, because doubling the bonus from these as well as having a ranged character in the back is still going to be very, very strong. All right, sorry, there's a couple more changes. I just kind of glossed over them. I just did like a brief scroll before doing this. Anyways, Wombats is getting a buff, +1/+1. I love to see that. I love a Wombats, as most of you know. And then Oni Tyrant got a bit of a buff and also art change. So it's going to give +13/+13 to attacking monsters, which is it's a significant little stat boost. So I wonder how much more often we're going to see Oni Tyrant in play, because we don't really see it that often. It's generally just a tempo play and then you replace it on like a pumpkin board. So that's another one to keep an eye on that I'm very interested to see. I like an Oni Tyrant. I wish it was a little better. It was a little bit too good on 5, which is a little unfortunate because it actually made Cursed Throne a relevant treasure. But yeah, okay. Also, I'm not going to go over all like the bug fixes and everything, but they got a whole ton of new art, and yeah, I think most of it's a definite upgrade. I'm liking the way it looks. A lot more detailed now, rather than just kind of like the basic stuff. Although the basic stuff will always be kind of iconic to Storybook, I think, for those of us that have been playing for a long time. But yeah. Again, I'm not going to go over all the bugs. There's a lot of bug fixes here and little improvements, and some name changes. I should maybe go over those. Skip's Skipping Stone has replaced Skip's Puzzle Rune. Hugify is now Fiercify. Big Book of Spells is replaces Merlin's Slippers. Hermes Boots is now Hermes Sandals. And Ring of Rage and 6 of Shields are now the 3 of Swords and 3 of Shields. So yeah. Yeah, so I think patch is small. Just like my overall thoughts. I think the patch is small. Probably not incredibly impactful on the metagame. And yeah, the new heroes are definitely feel okay. They definitely don't feel like too strong or anything. There's no like I think Zippy is incredibly strong, and Rumple is pretty weak. But I think these two are like definitely more towards the middle rather than on opposite ends of the spectrum. But yeah, with all that being said, let's get into the game for today. Okay, so we are playing Beauty today. Which is definitely a rare occurrence for me in particular. I do like Beauty as a hero. I think her hero power is very interesting. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it, but I just generally find a better option in the hero selection when she comes up. But yeah, we're playing her today. So yeah, we fired off a shard there and get a bad William. And then we come up with this shop, which is gives us a Cindy and a Lonely Prince and another shard, and we're gonna shard that bad William into a kitty cut purse with a couple extra stats. So it's got a pretty decent chance to slay. The double familiar shop there is a little bit tempting, just because I really love Wizard's Familiar, but unfortunately I just don't think it's quite as good as seeing level 3 shop. And then we got a pretty clean shop here. We just buy a stag and a second Lonely Prince, and that'll be that whole turn. Nice and quick and concise. All right, we get our kitty cut purse sleigh this time. We get 2 kitty cut purse sleighs. We do lose the fight though, but getting a couple extra gold is obviously fantastic. And we're gonna pick up a couple polywoggles, cast a spell, and just buy another stag, and another quick decisive turn here. And we're just gonna try and do our best to get our polywoggles to slay this turn. Unfortunately, our big polywoggle does not get the slay, but our little one does. So we do lose the fight again to a new hero there, Puffy. Yeah, so I'm not going to play the Polywoggle this turn. We find a pair here, so I was going to say I'm going to try and collect them and try and get a golden one to go a little bit later. Also, I don't really care to try and get it to slay on 3.2. And we're just going to sell to cast a spell here, get some quest progress on our Cinderella, and then run it like this with a couple range characters against Trophy Hunter. They get this slay with the Mummy, which is kind of a big deal, but the extra stats on our Sure Shot and our Queen of Hearts are enough to win the fight anyways. Alright, and here we're going to take a dragon. A Lightning Dragon plays really well with Stag, since Lightning Dragon generally trades, and then you get to attack with Stag as your first attack of the turn anyways. Briefly considered just throwing the Polywoggle in, but I think we're gonna hold out on the Polywoggle to try and get a golden one. And I wasn't really sure where to put the Stone Skin there. We ended up going with the Greedy, just because I wanted to get a couple extra gold, if we can. And here it's between Hermes Boots and Boiling Beaker. Crown of Atlas doesn't really do anything as beauty. We're going to go with the Boots, because that's going to mean that we're going to be able to guaranteed get our Stag attack, as well as we get our Lightning Dragon before combat starts. But yeah, getting those stats on the back row with the Stag, I think is very important. And then we win the fight because of those stats there. And I ended up locking that shop from last turn at the last moment, just because I wanted to get the Godmother. Because again, when the Lightning Dragon trades, it puts Godmother stats on everything, and I just think it worked really well with the board here. But yeah, we found another 2 treasure, and we're going to take Book of Heroes. Book of Heroes is incredibly good on beauty, because literally all our characters are going to be able to activate it if we just kill any evil characters. So, and there's some Book of Heroes value immediately. A little bit more Book of Heroes value on our Greedy. Love to see that. Always want more stats on Greedy. We get a shard in the shop, but there's nothing in particular here that I want to shard. We're just going to move on from that. There's a Medusa and a Friendly Spirit. We're going to take the Medusa for now. And there's another Lightning Dragon, which I'm pretty happy to pick up. I think we're out of Queen of Hearts now. Like, it gets a fair amount of extra stats, but I think it's a little bit susceptible to like Falling Stars and whatnot. And we get to triple our Polywoggle this turn as well, which is fantastic. And we get a Dragon's Nest out of it. Unfortunately, we just passed a shop with a couple of Feasty Boys, but I think this double Lightning Dragon setup makes the Dragon Nest more than worth it. Lightning Dragons are a lot less likely to trade now. And also we're gonna cast a spell on our Polywoggle at the last second here. Basically, we're just hoping that this Lightning Dragons and Dragon Nest are gonna be able to clean up the board enough that we get to keep the stats on the Polywoggle without it slaying. But the Medusa with no attack buff turns the Water Wraith into a statue, and we get a slay out of our Polywoggle. We're definitely not going to complain about it. We would have liked to get a 6, but Golden Wombats is still great as far as I'm concerned. Take a Robin Hood just because it's a very solid unit. There's a couple Sporkos, but with the reduced stats, I'm definitely not nearly as excited to pick them up. But I think we might be picking one up here. No, we do roll past that one. Never mind. Yeah, no great options there for that level 3 treasure. So we just skip, and we're gonna cast a Blessing of Athena, put some stats on the board. Did some repositioning there, and yeah, it's hard to position this board. I feel like we want to get Stag stats onto basically everything. Like we wanna puff up our Medusa to have it more likely to attack. We want to put stats on the range as well as the Wombats. So, but this is what we settled on. And yeah, the Ogre Princess from the Wombats gets a slay, gives us a Lancelot, and wins the fight there. Nothing we want to Beauty's Influence here. All right, we're gonna get a level 4 treasure now, and we're gonna take a Krampus slay. I can get out of the Book of Heroes now. gotten some value out of it. It's done some work for us, and I feel like we're very strong. So like with this golden wombats and this large lightning dragon, I'm feeling pretty good about our position. So Krampus Slay seems like a good pickup. And also we picked up a Copycat because I mean we're gonna try and get some extra value out of this wombats if we can here. And unfortunately the opponent has a spear. I thought we were going to be able to survive, or the Copycat was going to survive, but the spear adds stats to their Lancelot, and they take out our Copycat before we get the attack off. But our Krampus Slay triggers. It means we get to steal their spear, and yeah, that's a huge steal. Getting a level 6 treasure off of a Krampus Slay before we're even on level 6 is fantastic, and maybe one of the best Krampus Slays I've ever had. So yeah, that felt great. And now we've got a bunch of extra gold to work with here. We definitely want a soul tack at some point to protect our back row if we're going to be copycatting. But I think we're going to try and find something a little more relevant first before we start protecting our back row. There's another Copycat, and we're gonna sell down, and we're gonna take the Sporko. We just really want to get the stats onto the Lancelot. With the spear, if it can slay and survive, and it does, or sorry, no, it doesn't. I was kind of hoping that it would get to trigger this turn, but did a little miscalculation there. But either way, it gets stats on it, which means now if it slays and survives, it's going to get stats if we don't find a way to put other stats on it in the meantime. We could use just the magic research and give it the +1/+1 because I mean we're going to get the spear attack almost guaranteed. We've got the boots, right? So all right, but we do find a good boy, which we are absolutely going to be locking. I mean, with the boots and the spear, like good boy is just an absolute no-brainer. All right, and this time Lancelot gets the spear bonus, slays and survives, and gets the treasure done. So yeah, and out of these 5s, I'm happy to just take Hand of Midas and take our good boy here. Getting a golden good boy for what's essentially free. I mean, it's not necessarily free. We lose out on a 5 treasure, but I think the power spike there is definitely worth it. And we're gonna Fiercify the good boy here. Getting the 10 extra health on a golden good boy is gonna do a lot of work on our board here. Opponent Pigomorphs us. It feels like almost a little early to be Pigomorphing us, but fortunately attacks go well enough that we get our good boy stats out, and we get to attack with our Copycat with board space. So we get 2 very large units out of our wombats. All right, so now we're gonna take a soul tack to protect our wombats and our back row. And we're gonna take another Robin Wood here. We wouldn't mind another 5 treasure. All right, now since we have the spear and the boots, I think we're gonna do some repositioning here, because we can guarantee ourselves the Copycat attack, and so it makes sense to me to just throw the good boy behind the Copycat and play some Copy Boy here. All right, and then we get a shop with our level 5 treasure off of our Robin Wood, as well as an Evil Twin. We can always use more good boys. Good boys work well, very well in multiples. Unfortunately, the mummy damage goes onto our soul tack first, and then onto our back row. Not that it was protected from where it hit anyways, but still. Okay, so yeah, we get our level 5 treasure. We're gonna take a Sophie. It's just some extra stats on the front and back row. these other ones we're not super concerned with. Helm would just go on to the Sultak, and we don't really care about that too much. But we are going to put, we're going to evil twin the good boy. So now we're guaranteed to get our first attack as long as nothing happens, like a Hermes Magic Beans or whatever. Which means the golden good boy is going to put stats onto our regular good boy. And then those, the stats on the regular good boy when it dies are going to go back onto the golden good boy. And it's creating kind of almost like a little good boy stats feedback loop, which is gonna get us big enough to take down this opponent. Only just barely. They're very, very large. And there's another evil twin, which we're gonna happily use as well. And I don't think we have anything to worry about with Sultak, so we're just gonna cut the Sultak and play two good boys in the front. And yeah, we're gonna ramp up our stat production, increase our feedback loop here. And also this Bearstein is looking very, very good to me, so I think we're gonna sell down and take it. Because I mean, it's gonna give stats to everything on our board. It's only +2/+2, but the fact that if we summon any animals out of this wombat, then they're gonna get an enormous amount of stats. I mean, it doesn't really matter because it gets pigamorphed, but to be honest, that's a best case scenario for us. But summoning a triply out of our golden wombats is gonna end up being absolutely massive. Since it is good, it's getting all those stats from the good boys, from the good boy feedback loop, and yeah, we're gonna handle their board quite easily in our last combat there. But yeah, so that was CopyBoy on Beauty. This comp's a lot of fun when you get to start like chaining good boy bonuses and wombat summons. This is something that I generally like to do, but don't really get to do all that often. So I was kind of glad to be able to show this off. And yeah. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found it entertaining or educational, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you haven't already. I announced yesterday we are going to be giving away 2 700 gem codes once we reach 500 subscribers, so look out for that. And yeah, and if you want to catch some of these games live, I've been streaming regularly over on Twitch, so go ahead and follow me over there if you want a notification when I go live, and you can come hang out. Yeah, my Twitch will be in the description as well as in the pinned comment. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the patch overall. What you think of the do you think the meta is going to change at all? Do you think these support nerfs are meaningful, or do you think they're too much? Do you think I don't know, just let me know any thoughts you have on the patch overall, on the new heroes, anything. I respond to every comment, and yeah, I love hearing from you guys. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.